City under Guardiola have always been built around structure, the right distances, the right angles, the right pass at exactly the right moment. The winger isn't just there to excite the crowd, he's there to hold width, pin the fullback, stretch the backline, and make the pitch bigger for everyone else. That was Leroy Sané's value. That was Raheem Sterling's value. That was Mahrez in his own different way. Each one gave City a mechanism to hurt teams without ever breaking the system. Doku is different, because he brings the one thing patient possession football can sometimes quietly lose. That's why Pep's quote after the 5-1 win over Burnley in September 2025 was so revealing. Guardiola said he asked his wingers to go 1v1 in the final third, then singled out Doku's decision-making specifically, and said that when he gets defenders isolated in the box, and I'm quoting here, he is unstoppable. Doku was directly involved in 2 goals that day, but the word Pep kept coming back to wasn't pace, wasn't dribbling, wasn't goals, it was decision-making, because Pep was never going to fall in love with Doku just because he can beat a man. Plenty of players can beat a man. The real question is what happens after. Does the next action help the team? Does it create a cutback? Does it free Haaland? Does it pull a second defender out of his zone? With Doku, the answer is increasingly yes. And that's the evolution. When he receives wide on the left, he changes the geometry of the pitch immediately. The fullback can't press him aggressively, because one bad step and Doku is already gone, and every fullback in Europe knows it by now. So the nearest midfielder has to slide across to help. The center back shifts to protect the inside channel, and suddenly passing lanes open into the half space. Rodri gets more time to recycle. Ryan Cherki finds pockets between the lines. Nico O'Reilly arrives on the blind side. When Semenyo is in that front line too, Doku's gravity can isolate him against the opposite fullback, rather than letting the defense stay compact. 4 of Haaland's Premier League goals this season have been assisted by Doku. The big Norwegian is benefiting from a Belgian creating panic on the opposite side of the pitch. Football is funny sometimes. That's not just wing play. That's system damage. And the beauty of it, City don't even always need a complicated move. Give Doku the ball, let him stretch the opponent, attack whatever collapses. If the fullback stays alone, Doku goes at him. If the midfielder helps, City find the inside pass. If the center back steps across, Haaland gets space. If the whole block overshifts, the weak side opens completely. One player, multiple problems, every single time. To understand how long this has been building, go back to Bournemouth in November 2023. City won 6-1 and Doku had 1 goal and 4 assists. Opened the scoring after a 1-2 with Rodri, then played key passes for goals by Bernardo, Foden and Akanji. That was the early warning that people filed away, and then forgot about because City were winning everything anyway. The 2025-26 version looks considerably more serious though. Against Liverpool in November 2025, City won 3-0 in Pep's 1000th game as a manager and Doku stole the show, scored alongside Haaland and Nico Gonzalez. Against Chelsea in April 2026, he punished a loose touch from Caicedo to add City's third. And then against Everton, when City were 3-1 down and the title race was genuinely slipping away, he scored the opener, and then the 97th minute equalizer to make it 3-3. That's the specific attraction for Guardiola. Doku gives City a way out of games that have stopped looking like City games. When the passing rhythm breaks down, when the low block holds, when the midfield becomes too crowded, when Haaland is completely surrounded, Doku can manufacture panic without needing the perfect pattern to arrive first. Pep loves certainty. Doku has controlled unpredictability. That combination is genuinely rare. But here's where the conversation gets honest. Because Doku is not complete. Not yet. For everything the dribbling dominance produces, the end product hasn't always matched the threat he creates. But it's not yet the output of a winger who has fully converted his ball carrying into elite numbers. 1 goal and 3 assists in 631 Champions League minutes either. That's the gap. He can beat 2 defenders and still pick the wrong cross. He can create total panic and still hold the pass a second too long. He can drive into the box with momentum and shoot when the cutback to a teammate is the obvious answer. He can absolutely dominate the feel of a game and still walk off without a goal contribution. That's a very specific kind of frustrating to watch, like watching someone ace the interview and then blank on the easiest question. And that's exactly why some fans already see him as world-class, while others still see the raw edges. Both camps are right. The dribbling is already elite. The fear factor is already real. The tactical impact is already undeniable. But the final action, the cleaner finish, the calmer last pass, the better choice in the decisive moment is still what separates a terrifying winger from a truly complete one. That's what makes the 2025-26 season so important for Doku personally, because the weakness hasn't disappeared, but something has clearly started to change. This isn't Jérémy Doku just running at defenders anymore. This is Doku starting to understand what happens after the defender panics. That's the evolution. And it's a significant one. Earlier in his City career, he could make a match feel completely unstable without always deciding it. Beat the full-back, force the second defender across, drag the crowd to its feet, and still leave you asking the same question. What came next? Was the cross clean? Was that shot necessary? Did he hold it too long? The talent was never in doubt. The control was still catching up. In 2025-26, that balance has shifted. 5 goals, 5 assists, 1,574 Premier League minutes, 124 dribbles completed, 140 duels won. 1 goal, 3 assists in the Champions League, and nearly 80% pass accuracy. These aren't just dribbling numbers. This is a winger producing actions that survive inside Guardiola's structure, and that's a different conversation entirely. The Liverpool game in November 2025 was the clearest demonstration. Doku didn't just score in the 3-0 win. He became the first player since Eden Hazard in April 2019 to record 10+ dribbles, 10+ duels won, more than 3 chances created, more than 3 shots on target, and a goal in a single Premier League match. That's not one department. That's everything at once. Old Doku was chaos without control. This Doku is chaos with purpose. You see it in how he moves now. He's not always attacking the first defender immediately anymore. Sometimes he pauses, half a second, nothing dramatic, scans the second line, waits for Holland to pin the center back, waits for Cherki to drift between the lines, waits for the late runner to steal the fullback's eyes. Then he goes. That timing changes everything.
How does he do it? Time and time again. He drops into positions. Nobody tracks him. Nobody sees him. He's like a ghost.
Cut! That was really bad.
Cut!